instead of doing a trick with Jinx, I'm going to talk about kitchen training, generalization, and the 3Ds. So let's start with kitchen training. So it doesn't matter what room of the house you're training in. We call it kitchen training, but it really doesn't matter where you're training. It's the fact that you're training in your home. And so kitchen training is very valuable for a variety of reasons. Number one, you are able to build up a history of the behavior over and over and over again, which is a good thing. You always want a ton of history to then be able to take it on the road. It's less distracting. The environment is predictable usually to the dog. The noise level is usually predictable to the dog. And the people, the environment, the people that they are interacting with is predictable. When you're doing kitchen training, when you're doing any sort of training in the house, always think about, how can I take this on the road? And is my dog ready to take this on the road? So that leads us to generalization. Generalization, dogs stink at it. They absolutely stink at generalization. They can do really well in the house and then really bad outside, even in your front yard or your backyard. So in order to help them, you need to take your training on the road to at least 5 to 10 different locations. Minimum. That is minimum. And when you do that, you need to go back towards kindergarten training, what you did in the very beginning, the very first time that you got a specific trick. You want to go back to that route. So more luring, heavier rate of reinforcement. And you want to get that behavior over and over and over again in different locations. So surface plays a part in your behavior. Are you on concrete? Are you on grass? Are you on gravel? Are you on carpet? Linoleum, hardwood? You want to get them onto all different types of surfaces if possible. That leads us also to the 3Ds. The 3Ds are distance, duration, and distraction. When you're taking your training on the road, you want to build up the 3Ds in your house first, and then outside of your house, and then into new locations. So if you are working on hand signal work at a close distance, you want to increase the distance in the house first, increase the distractions in the house, and also increase the duration. So duration can go a couple of different ways. It can be the amount of training that you're asking the dog to do. So sometimes duration plays to your benefit and sometimes it doesn't. If your dog is into training, you've got them, then you can continue the duration and build up a little bit of history that you can capitalize on. Duration can also be to your detriment if you overtrain them and they get saturated, they're full, they're tired, and something's just starting to go downhill. So use duration to your benefit. So it's not only the amount of how long you're training for, it's also how long you're asking them to hold a behavior or perform a trick. So for, let's say, sit pretty, are they doing the sit pretty behavior for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute? So that you have to build up that duration. And the distraction, how much distraction is going on around them. Not only food distraction, but environment distraction, toy distraction, people distraction. Even something as simple as a door opening and closing can distract a dog. So know your distractions and know where they're at in their training with distractions and start to include them into your training, but also know that if they are new in a behavior, you want to keep the distractions at a minimum. Lastly is distance. So distance is how far away you are from your dog when you're training, or how far a stimulus is, as a distraction, a dog, or something that is playing into your training. So know your duration, how long you've been at something, how long you're asking the dog to perform the trick or the behavior, the distractions that are going on around them, and then the distance that either you are from your dog or distractions are from your dog. And sometimes you want further distractions that are further away. The closer they are, they may be harder. So it kind of depends on what you're training and what the environment is showing around you. So taking your tricks on the road, when you first do it, step out right outside your front door. Have your dog on leash if you need to, but get the same behaviors that you're getting in your house, get them in your backyard, get them in your front yard, and then take them to a low distraction environment, and then slowly build up to a more distracting environment until you could do it, say, in a classroom full of children. That is my talk on kitchen training, generalization, and the 3Ds. Thanks, guys. Bye.